Hey, I did it again. Sorry, guys. This is what happens when you have a collector's mentality in your hobbies and you find a new hobby and you also have impulse control and a little bit of ADHD. So, Cape Cod Coffee happens to be one of my all-time favorite coffee roasters. And this is a sampling of some that I've had. I mean, I've had many more over the last several years. And I'll go into that in a second. This is what I currently have. Now, I used to get all the flavors, and now I'm more into the countries. And on a side note, we're going to be talking about Ethiopian in a second, but this one here, Monsoon Mandelbar, I can't wait to do this review. It's crazy. When I read about that, I had to get it. But Cape Cod Coffee, we're going to go into that in a second. Why I go there all the time and stuff. But we're going to be talking today about Ethiopian, delicate fruits and floral notes. This is for a very good person who I know named Dale. Dale, if you're watching, hi. You were asking about Ethiopian. I did mention that in regards to my Bones coffee, which I'll be doing a review on too. But I thought it'll be a while before I get that. Why don't we go ahead and do a review on Ethiopian, the Cape Cod Roasters version of it. We're going to go into a lot of specifics on it while we get everything ready. But in the meantime, check it out, stick around, and we'll be right back. So just a quick note, again, Dale, hey, if you're watching, I want to say thank you once again. Dale was very generous in his donation towards my Cambodia campaign to get printers, technology, food to a very specific school in Cambodia. I will put that up again in case somebody wants to donate. I will be heading out there in the next 2 months. And I have a fundraiser, and it's currently at like $700 or $4,000. I won't go into too much detail about that, but once again, Dale, thank you so much for your generosity. And let's get into it. So, Cape Cod Coffee, obviously, Cape Cod, Massachusetts. I stumbled on Cape Cod Coffee when I was with an ex years ago. I was visiting my parents who live in that area, and we ended up in the Mashpee Commons, and we found Cape Cod Coffee Roasters. Now, actually, my parents might have even told us about to kind of keep an eye out for it, but we stumbled on it. We went in, had breakfast, which was outstanding. By the way, guys, they make an amazing breakfast, really, really good, Mashpee Commons. And we noticed the coffee there was amazing. So we bought some coffee, brought it home. At the time, I was drinking like flavored coffees. I think it was caramel vanilla they had, which I don't think they're doing anymore. And I went down. Every time I see my parents, I get more Cape Cod coffee since it's really the only time I go down there. So time marches on. Last Thanksgiving, I went down again, and by this point I had started doing coffee reviews, so I picked up some more coffee, and this time I veered towards the country coffee, not the flavored, although I couldn't resist. I did get chocolate cranberry, which sounds crazy, and it is a little bit crazy. I tried some, and it was actually pretty good. Chocolate cranberry flavored coffee. I probably didn't need a whole 16 ounce bag of it, but that being said, we'll do that review later when I'm in a while. But I picked up some more coffees, and one of the ones I did get was this Ethiopian coffee. Now, Ethiopian coffee, the way this is roasted, is on just the dark side of medium, just a little bit over medium. This is not my cup of tea. I tend to like light roast coffees. I'm hoping that this is more like, since it's really close to medium, it's not too dark. I can see by the beans it is your classic medium roast, and there are some in there that are a little bit darker than the rest. The smells are very, very similar to your typical medium roast. However, they are spicier, maybe even a little bit chocolatey going on in there. We're gonna do this and see how that smell profile changed, if at all. It always does change a little bit. No, I'd say it's pretty much the same, maybe a little bit more sweeter. And we're gonna load this up, and we're gonna go to the web page and right from the horse's mouth find out about this coffee. Now, as this is a medium roast with a little bit over the edge there towards dark, I'm not going to go nuts with the amount of coffee I put in here because I already know it's going to be stronger than what I'm used to. And I think I went to a solid 10 ounces of water in this. So one of the things that you'll find as a coffee drinker, you have to find the right amount of water for the type of coffee you're drinking. I think that's pretty standard with everybody. However, you know, when you're at a place, they'll do it automatically. They put what they think it should be. When you spend all that money and bring it home, you got to experiment a little bit carefully because it's, again, expensive to find just that right pocket of flavors that you're looking for. Not too dark, not too light, medium. How much water do you add? How much coffee do you add? I found that with the darker roast, I put a little bit more water in and maybe a little bit less coffee because otherwise it's just too dark for me. So let's read what it says here. This is from a very specific region. So this is a single origin. Single source. Yirgacheffe, Ethiopia. Considered the best high-grown coffee in southern Ethiopia, grown at elevations of 1,700 to 2,200 meters above sea level, medium body, delicate fruit, and floral. And for the record, this is going for $21.50 for a pound. That's actually really good price when you're talking about specialty coffee coming from a specific region. As I mentioned over and over again, these coffee producers in these areas, although Ethiopia right now is, it's actually probably, I haven't been there obviously, or not obviously, but I haven't been there yet. It's much more known for its coffee. So I'm wondering now if it's more, there are bigger farms. In Thailand, they have very small farms. It's not really well known for its coffee. Same with Cambodia. But Ethiopia's come a long way, and I know they serve it all the time at like Starbucks and stuff like that. So I wonder if now it's come to more of a, I don't know how to put it, but mass produced, let's just put it that way. Either way, $21.50 for a pound of coffee, that's 16 ounces. It's a very good price. That's what it's currently going for. When I bought this, it was probably more like $18 because I bought it back in November. Prices have gone up all around with Arabica coffee, more specifically South America. So we're going to let this brew for a second, and then we'll check right back in. All right, that's done brewing, and for those curious, this comes out to $1.34 an ounce. Again, when you're talking about specialty coffee like this, that's not too bad. So one of the things I discussed with light roast, and I promised I'd try it with medium roast, is you get a giant cup and you let it aerate and sit a little bit, and that will help with the flavors. I found this out by mistake with my light roast coffees. If I let it sit, the flavors will come out more. So when it's piping hot, you're not getting all those flavors. That's with me anyway. It's not like I didn't find this out online. It's not like a trick or a tip that I learned. That's my dog Jackson, his opinion on this whole subject. You having fun there, buddy? Yeah. So I just found that you let it sit a little bit and it actually brings out more flavors. So on that note, we're going to let this sit for a minute. I'm going to de-squeakify my dog, and we'll be right back. It's just one of those funny things, no matter what you do to prepare, and when it comes to dogs, and I guess also kids, they'll find a way to unprepare you. Jax is always by my side or close to me when I do these reviews, and he will tend to shake or want to get under his blanket or whatever, and when he does, he makes a lot of noise with his collar. So as I do these new series of reviews, I've been taking his collar off to make sure he didn't shake and make all that noise, but of course, I left a squeaky toy in the room, and you found that. So, but I don't know, whatever, it's cute. All right, so we've let this sit for a little bit. Let's give this a whirl. This is the Ethiopian from Cape Cod Coffee. It's very spicy. Very, very spicy. Interesting. now that I have a comparison, now that I've tried different types of coffees, I have better ways to compare these. But Excelsa coffee is a very spicy coffee, and this reminds me of that. It's very interesting. It's not quite all the way up to the Philippines level of spice. And by spice, I mean spice. Philippines Excelsa is this whole nother thing. But this is a very spicy coffee. Now, let's see what it says here again. Delicate fruit and floral notes. I do not taste any delicate fruits. Let's put it that way. And I do not taste floral notes. I find that completely odd. This is definitely medium to dark roast, even though it says just over the line of medium. You can taste the bitterness in this. It's probably more of like between halfway, so light, medium, dark. It puts it just over the line. It's closer to halfway between medium and dark. It is definitely darker roast. Okay, so let's go. That's good. I got my bearings on this. Now, all that being said, this is a very good coffee. This is a daily drinker coffee. Price-wise, it hits the points. Taste-wise, it is a good solid medium with a little bit of a dark kick to it. I disagree completely 100% with those flavor profiles they put on there. I do not agree at all. There's no fruitiness or floral notes as far as I'm concerned. That does not mean it's a bad coffee. I just disagree with that. I very much enjoy this, though. I could definitely see drinking this. One of my standards for daily drinkers is number one, price. It has to be a good price. This is a decent price. And number two, what do I see myself drinking 20 ounces of this? Because that's what I bring to work every day is like a 20-ounce mug. I do 2 runs, 20 ounces, and I drink that throughout the day. Yes, I could see myself drinking this. This is quite a change from the light, fruity, and sour tones that I've been used to in the light roasts, but it is not on the other side where it's so dark it's almost undrinkable. I really despise, unfortunately, dark roast coffees. This is a nice blend of medium with a tiny bit of darkness to it. Again, ignore those notes on there. Now, what I'm very interested to find out when I do my review of Bones Coffee Ethiopian, if that is going to come to the same conclusion. I wonder if the region, the coffee picks makes a difference. It usually does. Sourcing has a big impact on flavor. And I've even noticed in my coffee reviews of Thailand that Chiang Rai and Chiang Mai, even though they're both delicious, have different flavors to them. I'm sure it's the same in Ethiopia. All that being said, one last taste. Yep. It's a good solid coffee, a little bit of spice, medium to dark, good daily drinker. Just don't look at this and say, you're not getting any of those sour tones, no fruit tones. It's bitter, like not overly bitter, but it's more on the bitter side of medium. Hope you enjoyed this. Visit Cape Cod Coffee in Mashpee. They have actually 2 locations. If you're there in the morning, definitely get their breakfast. Call ahead if it's a holiday. Like I'm doing a promo for them, but they're really good. I love Cape Cod Coffee. It's still a reasonable price for a giant 16-ounce bag. And the workers there are always awesome. I'm Drake, that big bearded American tourist, Coffee Break with Drake. Hope you've enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.